Hello, I'm John Bachman. Indiana Governor Mike Pence offers some clarification on his state's controversial religious freedom law. He says he is shocked by the outrage that he's seen since this new legislation was passed.
Was I expecting this kind of backlash? Heavens, no.
Well, Pence has received sharp criticism from LGBT groups who say the law allows business owners to discriminate against gay people. Pence signed the legislation last week. It bans state laws that burden a person's ability to follow his or her religious beliefs, but it appears to be changing. Meantime, an escaped prisoner armed with a stolen gun is on the loose in northern Virginia. The accused bank robber, identified as Woason Use, apparently overpowered a private security guard at a hospital in Falls Church about 3 o'clock this morning and then grabbed his gun.
A shot was fired. At this time, there's no report of any injuries. Mr. Asai then took control of the weapon and fled the hospital, dressed in a hospital gown. Allegedly, he has no shoes on.
And that was the last place he was seen. He allegedly took off in a stolen car. Asai had been taken to the hospital apparently after trying to harm himself. And it looks like the talks over Iran's nuclear program will continue past tonight's deadline. The two sides have not reached a tentative deal yet, but they are agreeing to enter a, quote, new phase of these talks with an eye towards a final deal sometime in the end of June. And Americans are saying finish the deal. Nearly 6 in 10 tell a new poll that they are behind the idea of a deal to limit Iran's nuclear program, but they are also pessimistic about the same number say that a deal will keep Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. A lot of folks think they're going to eventually get that no matter what. The battle for Tikrit continues. Apparently has turned, though. Iraq's prime minister now says ISIS has been forced from the center of Tikrit. The terror group has held that city since last summer. Estimates are all over the place about how much of Tikrit has actually been recaptured by Iraqi forces, and a general says it holds about 75%, but other local government officials say it's less than half. We'll keep you posted. The defense is continuing to make its case today in the Boston Marathon bombing trial for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. The prosecution rested after calling its final witnesses, including a medical examiner who described the devastating injuries that killed the youngest of the 3 bombing victims, 8-year-old Martin Richard. Parts of the testimony left members of that jury weeping. When Hillary Clinton talked about using a private email server while Secretary of State, she said she did it so she would only have to carry one device. Well, it turns out she was carrying more than one. Documents uncovered by the AP show that Clinton emailed State Department staffers on both her BlackBerry and an iPad. And just a day after being named the new host of The Daily Show, there are some serious questions about Trevor Noah. People started going through his old tweets and found ones that could be certainly considered anti-Semitic. This one about Israel not being peaceful. There's also another one about Jews in the music business, and no comment yet from Comedy Central. He does set to take over when Jon Stewart retires. We'll have another update coming up for you in 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman. We'll now send it back to Ed Berliner in Midpoint.